So after a long gap, now let's get started. So now our new chapter is Relational Database Management System, or in abbreviated word we can call it as RDBMS, that is Relational Database Management System. So now before starting this chapter, we have to know some new terminologies that we will use in this relational database management system. So let's get started. So now I have drawn a table where the table name is employee. So now in this relational database system, this table, so we know that the table is a collection of rows and columns, and each and every values like this, each and every values of the row are interrelated with each other. Suppose for example, the values of the fields EMPID is AC001, name is Amit, address is Siliguri, and designation is manager. So each and every of these values are interrelated with each other. Suppose for example, the employee whose ID is AC001, so his name is Amit, and the address is Siliguri, and the designation is manager. So that means each and every of these values are interrelated with each other in a table. So that means each and every of these values are interrelated. So that's why, so now in this relational database management system, we call this table as relation. Since each and every values of the fields are interrelated with each other. So now next is this, the headings EMPID, name, address, and designations. So we know that we used to call these as fields. We used to call this as fields in DBMS. While we are studying this DBMS, we used to call these headings as fields under which the values are stored. Suppose for example, EMPID is a field whose values are AC001, AC002, AC003, and AC004 Okay. So now, so in the same way, under the fields we have the names. Under the field called name, we have the values like Amit, Binita, Chetan, and Deepen, and so on and so forth. So now, in this RDBMS, now we will not call this as fields. Now we will call these fields with the name as attributes. So how many attributes are there? So there are 4 different attributes, and the attributes names are EMPID, name, address, and designation. So in relational database management system, this field called name, we will now call it as an attribute. So now next is this row. Each and every of these are known as row in DBMS. So each and every of these rows, it represents a single record. So that means how many different rows are there? So there are 4 different rows, and each and every row, it represents a record. So that means there are 4 different rows or 4 different records. So now we will call these rows not as row in RDBMS. Now we will call these as tuples. So how many tuples are there? So there are 4 different tuples. So now the next is domain. Now next is domain. So now what is this domain? So we all know that domains means the area. If you have studied the sets in mathematics, see, domain means area under which the values are stored. Suppose for example, in mathematical terms, in set, this is a domain of integer values. Integer. So this is domain of integer. So we have only the integer value here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 22. So all these are the integer values under the name or the domain called integer. So in the same way, in our this relation, we have 4 different domains. So like EMP-ID, it is a domain under which the values are these: AC001, AC002, AC003 and AC004. So these are the values under the domain called EMP-ID. So now understood? So this is a domain. So we can say that each and every attributes are the domain under which the values are stored. So under EMP-ID we have these values, under name we have Amit, Binita, Chetan. So all these are the Amit, Binita, Chetan and Deepen. These are the values inside the name, inside the domain called name. So in the same way, Siliguri, Kurseong, Darjeeling, Kurseong. So all these are the values inside the domain called address. So there are 4 different domains. So now next is degree. So what is this degree? So degree, the number of attributes in a relationship is called degree. So the number of attributes. So how many attributes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So degree. Degree means, it means number of attributes. So degree means the number of attributes. So how many attributes are there? There are 4 different attributes: EMP-ID, name, address and designation. So there are 4 different attributes. So this is known as the degree of a relation. So what is the degree of this relation? So we say that the degree of this relation is 4. So in this relation or in this table, so we have the degree as 4. Now the next is cardinality. So what is this cardinality? So cardinality means the number of tuples, the number of rows. The number of rows or the number of tuples is known as cardinality. Cardinality. So cardinality means the number of tuples. So cardinality means the number of tuples. So how many tuples are there? So there are 4 different tuples, 4 different rows. So 4 different rows or the 4 different tuples. So this is known as cardinality. So how many cardinalities are there? There are 4 cardinalities. Cardinality means the number of tuples. So these are some terminologies. So we have to understand before starting with this relational database management system. So thank you student, this much for today. And so in the next class we will start with a new topic known as the keys. Thank you.